We've been talking about expanding down south, right? Vice City is 24 karat gold these days.
No matter what your general thoughts are about Rockstar today, no one can deny that the Rockstar from the 2000s was one of the biggest and most influential gaming entities at the time, with games like GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Bully being at the forefront of open world innovation. When we think back at the time those games released, each new release had something that made you, the player, feel cool while playing. For GTA 3, it was the fact that you were finally able to free roam a huge map from a third-person perspective. It was the first ever instance of a video game giving you full freedom to approach any kind of situation in any way you desired. Rockstar, of course, ended up further expanding the feeling that they gave you throughout the 2000s with each new release. But despite each new game being cool in their own way, not one single release ever managed to come close to being as cool as Vice City. Why is that, you might ask? And to be quite honest with you, I genuinely do not have a clue. In this video, I will be diving deep into what exactly made Vice City as cool as it was. Rockstar is very well known for being a company that paid a lot of attention to the tiniest details. But looking at Vice City as a game, there really isn't much detail to be impressed by. Yes, the game introduced motorbikes, scooters, and more that was missing in GTA 3, but overall the entire Vice City map was smaller and the game had less missions in general. I fully understand that Vice City was only planned as a mission pack for GTA 3 and was not intended to be a full-fledged game initially. So, why does a game like that still feel so much cooler than anything released 23 years later? To answer this question, we need to look at what Vice City is trying to be. Inspired by movies like The Goodfellas, Scarface, and TV shows like Miami Vice, this game is actually more of an homage to the 80s than it is a video game. It's a passion project made by people who absolutely loved the 80s and enjoyed their early years growing up at the time. This is quite evident in the game's story itself, as the entire story is made to feel like a Scarface clone, with Tommy being released from prison, having served 15 years. Making his way up through the criminal underworld of fictional Miami, he meets a cast of diverse and extremely over-the-top characters that mimic the many characters of the movies and shows I previously mentioned. The difference between Scarface and Vice City is that Tony Montana is someone who couldn't keep calm and needed stimulation for his erratic personality. On the other hand, Tommy Vercetti is someone who, even after things go south, is still thinking straight and avoids getting high on his own supply. This here is genuinely a thing that made me only now realize how much more likable he was as a character. Despite, of course, having eliminated 11 people and being basically nicknamed the Bay Harbor Butcher before Sexter Morgan even existed. One thing about Vice City that I can safely say makes it the coolest GTA game is the fact that it was the first GTA that introduced assets. These assets were a big part of the empire building aspect of the game and were a crucial part of the story as well. This was later expanded on in Vice City Stories with an even larger amount of assets the player could build and upgrade. But for me personally, Vice City Stories just didn't have the same feeling as Vice City itself did. Plus, Vic Vance building an empire with his wannabe TikTok brother Lance only to look like this never sat well with me.
What is that?
On the other hand, Lance Vance is one of my favorite GTA villains. As soon as you end up meeting him in that alley after beating up Leo, you could smell betrayal. To me, it was no surprise he ended up betraying Tommy, especially with the way he was acting throughout the entire story. But this betrayal adds a lot to the layered story of this game. Yes, the ending might be a bit too abrupt, if that makes sense, especially with the Forellis taxing Tommy's businesses, Lance crossing to the other side, and then Tommy eliminating both Lance and Sonny at the same time. But to me, it was never about the ending of the game. It was always about the journey from small-time crook running errands on a scooter to building a multi-dimensional business model that helped cover Tommy's not-so-legal activities. With the Empire aspect of the game being a crucial part of both the gameplay and Tommy's revenge arc, the game itself becomes a larger-than-life experience. Here, you're building something that feels important not just to Tommy, but to you, the player. This in turn added a lot of replay value to this game compared to GTA 3 for instance, which I honestly can say that I only beat like 3 times compared to the 10 plus times I beat Vice City. I always loved taking it slow and enjoying the scenic route while driving back to the Ocean View Hotel. GTA 3 for instance though, I always felt pressured to get back to my safe house and save, as every corner of that map just felt hostile, especially in the later part of the game. Here, the only part of the map you should avoid is the areas patrolled by rivaling gangs, which are few. this still gives you a large area to just walk around and take in the beautiful neon-colored landscape Vice City has to offer. This is one fairly large part of what made this game so cool to begin with. But of course, this is not the only thing that makes this game still as cool as it was when I first played it back in the day. The story itself is fine, the characters are great and actually fun, but what about the gameplay? Having played it multiple times, I can safely say that the gameplay is great. A bit clunky, but considering how old this game is and the fact that it was supposed to be a mission pack for GTA 3, gameplay is good, minus the RC missions, because fuck those. The cool part about this game doesn't come from the gameplay. It doesn't even come from the fact that you could play as Ray Liotta, who genuinely was one of the coolest actors of our time. It comes from the sheer fact that this game was made to be an experience first and foremost. It was never about just giving you extra content to make a quick buck from, but instead, it was crafted to make you, the player, live out a time that you maybe didn't even have a chance to experience. This in turn managed to create a game that will live on forever in terms of its sheer nostalgic appeal. Similar to what a game like GTA 4 and GTA 5 did to one generation of gamers, this game did the same for another one. If you never played this game before, you will probably think it sucks. Especially if you're part of the newer generation of gamers who grew up in the let me hold your hand age of games. But maybe with time and when you end up acquiring enough brain mass that's locked behind a paywall, you will learn to appreciate this game for how cool it is. This game is the ultimate 80s experience, as I've already said in my retrospective video last year. It's everything that you never managed to experience firsthand. The gameplay, the story, the characters, the atmosphere, all make the game feel like a true work of art, which it is. But a masterpiece like this would never be as cool as it was without the amazing soundtrack that accompanied it. I of course can't put any of the tracks due to potential copyright issues, but the fact that you can drive around Ocean Beach while vibing to Michael Jackson before switching up to something more aggressive like Slayer while running over the entire population of Ocean Beach is something not many games can brag about. The sheer amount of good tracks on the radio makes you appreciate each station much more, as you don't need to skip constantly to avoid tracks that you don't like. Here, every track is basically one that you will like. Unlike in GTA 3, where the radio felt more like an afterthought with not many good songs to listen to, except Push It to the Limit, as that one slaps and should have been part of Vice City instead. But even without the iconic Scarface track, this game still features one of the best stations with some of the best tracks to ever be released, which is V-Rock. V-Rock also being hosted by Laszlo is pure perfection, featuring Quiet Riot, Ozzy, Love Fist, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Judas Priest, Slayer, and Anthrax, as well as Motley Crue. This station is just banger after banger. The same can be said for Fever 105 or Flash FM. And of course, how can I leave out Emotion 98.3, the sexiest radio station in existence? With those things said, I think I can safely say I'm even more convinced now than I was ever before that Vice City is the coolest GTA game ever made. From the neon-soaked streets, fancy suits, Hawaiian shirts, properties, and access to the fast cars, great characters, and amazing soundtrack, this game just had it all. Of course, except swimming. But that small inconvenience never really bothered me that much, as for me, the cool part of this game was the sheer feeling it gave me when I walked down Ocean Beach dressed in the Mr. Vercetti outfit.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
And whatever someone might think, Vice City is the perfect GTA location. Period. With GTA 6 around the corner, I cannot wait to finally be able to explore a modern version of Vice City. The city of every kid's dreams, basically. The perfect place to commit countless acts of violence while running at the cops with a chainsaw. Having covered all of this, I really wonder if you guys feel the same. Is Vice City Rockstar's coolest game? To me, it is. It might not be the best, but no other GTA except San Andreas and GTA 4 made me feel as cool to date. What do you guys think? What Rockstar game is the coolest to you? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and thank you to all the 394 people that subscribe. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button, and of course, subscribe for a chance to win an RTX 7090 card once this channel hits 10 million. Stay silly, keep badging, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.